You are live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. I'm Nathan, as always, joined by Alum. How you going, Alum? What's made you happy in the last week?
I am good, thank you. What's made me happy in the last week is watching Back to the Future with the boys.
Yeah.
Actually, let me correct that. Watching Back to the Future 2 with the boys.
And then we watched 3 by ourselves later. Also joined by Callum. What's going on, Callum? What's made you happy in the last week?
Did some rearranging in my room, took my old posters down, I put up another picture frame that I thought was really nice, so my room looks cleaner now, more adult, some might say. So, this kind of puts you in a new headspace. Sometimes you'll clean a room, or we had our garage, we did some lot of cleaning in our garage. It's a much more open space, calming space. I think sometimes we all need a bit of that, a bit of the, change up in our rooms or our homes.
We need to discard things that maybe have been tethering us to the ground.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's nice to just clean your space to help you get in a new headspace.
Yes.
I think what made me happy this week was similar to Alum, I guess. Back to the Future 2 is always a fun time. And it was a productive weekend, I think. I had a productive weekend, which boosts your morale sometimes. When you know.
Certainly does.
Yeah. We did a lot. Me and Alum and Callum, we did a fair amount of work for the station here. So, we cleaned up. We had some training, did some activities. Yeah, it's something to be proud of, I guess.
Yeah, it's the way. It's how you know you've had a productive weekend, and it's not just. Sometimes you need a bit of a sloth fest, but sometimes you need something more productive.
Yeah. We'll get straight into it. So tonight we have another giveaway. Thank you to the lovely people at Rocket Comms for providing us with this opportunity. We are giving away a code worth about $18 or so for the new Pokemon Go Wild Area event on this weekend globally. It's a special event for Pokemon Go. We are not sponsored. But Pokemon Go is something we take a passing interest in. We're all a bit too fat to enjoy it to its fullest. Spiritually, if not physically. But it's something we did back in the day. And when the game was big. So we're doing a giveaway tonight. So the event's happening this weekend, the 15th to the 16th of November. And doing this event gives you all sorts of bonuses to your catch rate and all that kind of good stuff for Pokemon Go. So our text in to 044 7777 989. That's 044 7777 989. And text in the passphrase Shiny Mewtwo. The first person to send us a message will win the code.
Yep. So first and best dress, as they say.
That's it.
So hit us up, shoot the message, and we'll announce it when we receive the first message.
That's it.
So that code again is Shiny Mewtwo, and that number again is 044 7777 989.
That's it. So listen live for your chance to win. Oh, I guess if you're hearing this on the podcast, it's too late. Potentially. We'll announce it during the show if it goes off during the show. Anyway, moving straight on in, we all watched Back to the Future Part 2. Did you get a chance to also rewatch 3?
No,
Callum,
but
no?
I've seen it many times, so it's fine.
So we skipped Back to the Future 1 because we've all seen it 100,000 times. And Back to the Future 2 is more, at least, it's more narratively complicated, I would argue. Yeah. There's a lot more to sink into than Back to the Future 1. Back to the Future Part 1 is a classic, but it's very kind of more self-contained than number 2. Number 2 goes nuts.
Yeah, it's number 1 is obviously it's science fiction genre fiction, but it's also kind of grounded in the sense that it's just in the 50s. Once he gets there, it's kind of a drama.
Yeah,
and it's
the science fiction aspect kind of takes a back seat. It's happening in the background.
Yeah, but
his
it's
repair
also
of the not repair, but the setup for the return.
Yeah,
to get the how many gigawatts was it? 1.21.
88.
It's 1.21 gigawatts or something they need.
Or is it 88 miles?
88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so it's more about him, obviously, like you said, being in the 50s, being where his parents are in their youth, and potentially, interfering in their courtship.
Yeah, and just navigating that character drama. Whereas 2, like you were saying, 2 is much more science fiction, and it's also a cringily 80s version of the future.
Yeah.
And I say cringely, like 80s versions of the future can be great. You know, like you look at Total Recall,
Blade
like
Runner.
Blade Runner. But this is like the worst kind of 80s version of sci-fi.
You take that back.
It's a pop movie. Like it's
Yeah, I
it's
know,
2015 in the film, right?
Yeah.
And considering the 2015 we had, I would have much rather that 2015 with flying cars, pizza you can rehydrate, and it's good to go.
That's the true rehydration food.
Yeah.
It looks that good. Nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there are benefits.
That was very
to be
Star
had.
Trek, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this version of Back to the Future really much deals with the timelines and altering the future, which would alter the past, like altering the past that alters the future, and there's a few different timelines at play in this version. So it kind of immediately it sets itself with much greater kind of ambition. This movie is much more ambitious than the first one. Although a lot of it's also a bit divisive.
Look, I think it's the weakest of the trilogy, but it's also from at least my memories of the trilogy, it's also the one that takes the biggest swings.
Yeah, this one has the most kind of, I guess,
It has the most ideas competing with each other. It has I don't know about the budget, but I feel like this one has the biggest budget in terms of special effects and that type of thing.
Well,
it certainly has like the most characters, I guess.
Well, that makes sense in a way because they shot 2 and 3 back to back. They shot them together, and I guess 3 is the one where you kind of don't need all the big budget. It's
Once
like
you
it's
built
in
the
the
sets,
it's just in the West. It's like the Western. So like they used most of the budget on 2, and then they get people in for 3, but 3 has that leftover budget aspect to it too.
Yeah.
Where it's like it doesn't need to be that kind of expensive because once you've got those Western sets, as Callum said, you're just in costume, and there's no real science fiction element. There's no special effects, no flying cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 2. Why is 2 your favorite, Alan? What do you like about it?
So,
It was full spoilers for Back to the Future.
yeah, I mean, the movies are old as heck, so, you know, you should probably already know kind of why, or, you know, what happens in the films. But number 1, I think, serves as a great kind of introduction to the film series. It tells a great standalone story. But with number 2, you get to actually, you know, again, when you say Back to the Future, it implies you're going back to the present. You're not really going back to the future.
Yeah, but from 1950...
Yeah, you're
from
going...
1955, it's the future.
Yeah, but you've gone into the past. So you're only getting yourself back to the present. You're really going to the future in the second one. They're actually heading to 2015. Excuse me. It's a great departure from our current 2015, unfortunately. But, you know, a man could hope. We used to hope a lot. We're like...
Yeah, but they don't have the internet.
Yeah. They've got connectivity.
Maybe, yeah.
And some would argue the internet's a curse. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say-
That's a valid point.
Maybe we'd be better off for that.
Maybe we're at the bad timeline.
Yeah.
But
That's true. They still have FaceTime.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that-
FaceTime and everything else.
Yeah, they have all that going on.
So, like, you see what is, again, like you said, Callum, it's a cringy kind of stylized version of the 80s version of the future. And a bit hopeful, you know, with the flying cars and everything else. But it's still, I don't know, endearing in a way.
Yeah, like even the fashion where they have like
The pockets inside out. And
the pockets inside out, and that jacket that they have the hydraulic.
yeah,
kind
it
of,
automatically sizes up and it dries itself. And the Nike shoes,
Yeah,
you know, the self kind of lacing shoes and that sort of stuff. Like, they showed cool tech.
and I think also that, like it comes from a place of this could happen in the future. Like it comes from a place of, I'm not going to say research, but of plausible, like kind of accessible tech. You know, you've got the shoes that do themselves up. You've got the self-fitting tops. You've got it's the kind of they've actually thought about what it could have been like in the future.
Things that they can. It's a mixture of things that are done in CG, but also things they can do to show, like, you know, futuristic stuff with practical means. Like I said, it's easy to tailor costumes to have practical effects.
But also, you're in the 80s, or well, this is what 89, 90. So it's like you're making this film thinking, what would all this kind of like be like in 2015? And they're coming at it from a specific point of, I guess, just ease of access, ease of use. So they've kind of like, they've got all those things, and it's like they did think about the production of this futuristic world. Yeah, and the hoverboard is always a good touch in this movie.
Yeah,
too.
like he just rips off the little handle bit of the scooter and just turns into his own skateboard. I just love the aspect of like his son is a spitting image of him.
Yeah,
You know, it's always it's just
That's a motif throughout, pretty much. That's throughout number 3 as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
All the McFlys look like
Look like
Michael
the
J.
same.
Fox.
Yeah.
solid genetics. That's what that is.
That's
and
it.
then he sees dad. You're like, is that really his son?
Well, the actor changes between
Yeah.
1 and 2 as well.
I was gonna laugh because when we were watching number 2, the scene where he's like, what happens to us in the future, Doc? And he's like, it's not you, it's your kids, Marty. And immediately Christian looks at me and he's like, I remember that line from Family Guy where it's like, it's your kids, Marty, it's your kids, your daughter, she marries a black man.
I don't remember that.
It's a Family Guy line.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet it is.
and it's just, they're like,
It
I've got
sounds
no
like
problem. I've got no
something
problem with that. And the wife's like, I got no problem either. And he's like, oh, well, peanut butter was invented by a black man. They're like, too late. I'm not comfortable around you anymore. And we're just thinking the whole scene, at the time. But just, I lost my train of thought. But
Yeah, about the kids. It's about the kids. That's how it starts.
yeah, like, one of the other, I don't know if it's a Family Guy joke on it, but it involves obviously Marty being born and, looking a lot like the man they see in 1955. And then Marty's dad having, reservation with, like, he looks suspiciously like that guy. You sure you haven't cheated on me, that sort of thing, which gave it a little laugh. But
I think that's another thing, but people often hate about Back to the Future, specifically 2 and 3, is that the amount of pop culture this movie has inspired and kind of how much it's referenced is insane.
yeah,
And haters
Well,
hate it.
even Rick and Morty, like, technically the first, I think, prototype show was supposed to be like Doc and Marty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's still so prevalent in today's day and age and the
People-
zeitgeist.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, do we need
My
to go to a break?
apologies. No, a lot of the young, from what I've seen on, let me preface this. Back to the Future is having its 40th anniversary at the moment. So, like, you'll be seeing some of this online. If you're online, you'll be seeing people talking about it, advertising it, buy tickets to see the IMAX screenings and so on, because they're doing a big cinema re-release of the franchise. So people have been talking online, and it seems like a lot of the younger people have issues with this. Like a lot of the younger millennials and older Gen Zs, they're really focused on this idea that Back to the Future 1 implicitly promotes incest because of the storyline. And I read these takes, these, to me, spicy hot takes, and I'm like, the whole point of the film is that's what he needs to avoid those scenarios, because unless his parents get together, he ceases to exist. And I'm like,
That's the point of the movie.
I guess it's a cringe. There's a couple of scenes that play on that for some laughs, and I guess maybe some of these people cringe and they're like, "Oh, that's not woke, that's not cool."
I think
I'm like, yeah, but that's the joke. That's literally the joke. He's playing
Yeah.
a character called Calvin Klein because he can't just come out and tell them the truth. So he can't be out and say to these people, "Oh, this is who I really am,"
Yeah.
because he'd be locked up, like a 12 monkey situation where they
I
put you
think-
in prison.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, you said part of the joke, like his mum's hitting on him because she doesn't know that he's her son. Because that's stupid. How would, in any world, him be her son, right?
Anyway,
That's,
I'm like,
that's the joke.
so he gets a bad rap online from some of the younger people. And I'm like, you give it a go. Take it for what it is. It's a good franchise. Anyway, that's just, yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, because a lot of, I don't know, it still happens in today's day and age, but there is that weird, we'll call it tease of incest in a manner. Like there's the Star Wars thing with Luke and Leia and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's-
but
like,
That's different.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, but
What-
George
in this,
knew.
In this case,
No, I don't know if he did. Not to begin with.
Yeah,
Is that revealed in the first film?
Did
Yeah,
he-
it was just a kiss. It was,
It was just a
fine.
kiss, but did he have all the movies written?
No, I don't think he did. Because he didn't write them.
Then
I
why
think he
did
had
Yeah,
I think there were
Kazdan
different
did,
writers for
yeah.
different films anyway.
But it's kind of like, why did you approve that? Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a separate issue.
but yeah, like anyway, but kind of, I guess we'll say media's kind of tease that. before, but
Anime's
that's-
full of it.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the be all and end all of why you judge kind of a piece of media.
Mm.
It's got technically it's an uncomfortable kind of theme to it, and that's fine because a lot of media does have uncomfortable themes. If they were leaning into it in a negative way, that's a different story. But
Yeah.
like you said, the key is that his travel to the past has clearly impacted his parents' courtship, which
Yeah.
is proved to be critical to his
His
family
survival.
existing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he needs to fix that. That's the crux of the issue. And that's what you should assess it for. And it does that quite beautifully, I would say. I do like how it's like, when your third kid breaks that, was it was it coffee table or something?
Yeah.
To go easy
Don't-
on
yeah,
him.
go easy on him. Yeah.
But
He has brothers.
he has an older brother and an older sister, I believe.
Are they ever shown in the
His
movies?
Yes.
I think his older brother, or is no, it's his uncle. Is
It's
one's
his uncle's in jail.
Jailbird, yeah.
His uncle's in jail, and I think you see his older brother and sister going off to work or whatever / college in the start of the second film, which I believe also implies they've improved their career prospects. I don't know if that's guaranteed or not.
Oh, at the start, life is good, yeah.
So
Because they got Biff under their thumb. Now.
yeah. Which I'm like, you technically changed, the world, and it's to suit your benefit. Is that necessarily the right thing? Karmically,
he'll pay for it in between.
Karmically, we'll say yes, but technically, by the rules of kind of time travel, no, he did the wrong thing.
That's also a good point. The ethics of Back to the Future. I'm like, yeah, you're benefiting yourself and your family, negatively affecting Biff. Bad Biff would argue negatively affecting Biff, right?
Yeah.
Emasculating Biff. Biff is the bully, that's fine. But like, how much of that? It's that kind of the butterfly and the.
Yeah, Doc never should have invented the time machine because
Yeah.
it was unethical to do so.
It's like a butterfly flaps its wings, and there's a.
Yeah, the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, typhoon or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like this the franchise needs like a Final Destination element
Mm.
where it's like when they start middling with the future. Actually, 11/22/63, the Stephen King novel.
Mm.
There's like a whole one kind of. I never read it, but I'm pretty sure there's like a whole kind of like time police element. And like I think that's kind of something that's missing from Back to the Future. Is that now obviously this is Back to the Future is played as a relatively straight sci-fi.
Yeah.
But you can't, like we're saying, you can't just alter reality to suit your needs without there being some kind of flex back from the universe.
Yeah, because like, say Biff has his reality changed at the beginning of part 2, right? And then, essentially, like, what's the flow-on effect of Biff's universe? Like, how is all of Biff's friends and family affected? It probably isn't all positive,
No, definitely not.
even though he's a terrible person being, and we're very much anti-Biff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just like, yeah, what's the flow-on effect of time and space? I don't know.
Yeah. Which is, again, why I like number 2 so much is...
You
Yes.
get a little bit of that.
Yeah, you start off back in 1985. You head off to the future, head off to 2015. And then obviously future Biff, or old man Biff, hitches a ride, changes time a little bit, comes back. Which is, I think, some kind of time paradox right there.
Mm.
But, we'll leave that for today's discussion. We won't get into it. And then... basically, they head back to 1985, which is completely changed, and then have to go to 1955 to fix things. So they traverse the present into the future, alternate present, into the past, and then back to their regular present. So you get that bit of going back to 1955 from number 1, and she's seeing the same scenes but from a different angle.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really well done.
Yeah.
And that's something I enjoy about number 2 specifically is when you go back and you're in like the ball, the dance at the end,
Yeah.
and you're seeing that performance, like the Chuck Berry performance from the alternate angle.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really well done.
Yeah. And that's why I think, like I said, it pushes its way into being my favorite kind of Back to the Future film, just because it does all those things.
Mm.
And the fact that they were able to film both number 2 and 3 back to back, it allowed them to kind of set up the third film really nicely. I think when they made the first one, I don't know how much they knew how they would position the second one. Whereas I think they could have maybe made it more seamless, almost. They could have hinted those scenes.
I think, yeah. I think the third one's a weird one for me because it's so separate from the others. Like, at least 1 and 2, they have a modernity to them, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Being in the 50s, the 80s, and the future. Going on with number 3, there's a weird kind of... I just feel like it feels very separate from the other 2 because it's so far back in time and there's very little...
It feels like a cash grab.
No.
So the first 2 feel very solidly like a duology, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then the third one's just kind of shoehorned in, and now we're doing Back to the Future Western. It doesn't feel doesn't feel like one seamless trilogy, is what I'm saying.
I agree with that. I don't think it feels like a cash grab. I feel like it's like the movie. They do their best. It doesn't feel like a cheap kind of let's get rich off this third movie while the IP is hot. it feels to me like it's a good story, it's a good movie, it just doesn't feel like a good Back to the Future film.
Yeah.
Because there's not really any of those stakes. There's no kind of like... It's the first movie without all of the kind of immediate danger.
Yeah.
It's essentially just the first movie again, because you've got like Marty McFly, and instead of the photograph fading, it's the tombstone.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the exact same as the first movie without the kind of more immediate, intimate problems we were talking about before with your family.
Yeah. And also, like, Marty technically interjects himself into that situation as well. Like, Doc specifically says, don't come back for me, it's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, he sees the tombstone with, Emmett Brown being killed about 7 days after or something, him writing that message. So he does have to go save him, but it's not like he got stuck there, powerlessly. Whereas initially, in number one, he definitely is very much powerless when he gets stuck.
Like, that's not to say there's good things. There's not to say there's no good things about part 3. Like, I like the fact that they have to come up with a way to get to 88 miles an hour in 86 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and they use the train.
And they use the train, which is smart, right? That's the only way they would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
And to get that kind of energy and all that kind of stuff. Like, I appreciate that element to it.
I think the character growth that Marty undertakes is probably some of the most significant of the whole series in number 3.
Yeah.
Where, like, I love how it just transitions from being, what are you, chicken, to what are you, yellow?
Yeah.
And, like, it's not like, he's from 1985, it doesn't really get that, but no, he's immediately like, no one calls me yellow. Like,
No one calls me yellow, yeah. Yeah.
And I just think it's like, I appreciate this movie. I appreciate number 3 as a movie, but I just don't think it's a good Back to the Future story.
Yeah.
Because what it does well, it also kind of in some ways just borrows from the first movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do it to the same great extent. Like, you don't have all those comedy moments of, being with your parents. Instead, it's your great-great-grandparents.
Yeah.
So some of that dynamic is lost.
Yeah, because number 2, like, you go from, all right, number 1, he was damaging the past and potentially ruining the future. And number 2, he comes back to what is technically a ruined future.
Yeah.
From 1955. Given the big difference of the Biff giving himself the almanac.
Yeah.
Like, he sees the real world consequences. This was what happens when you really mess with the timeline.
Yeah, number 2 is a lot better. Like, number 2 has all of those kind of epic moments and those stakes. But number 3, like, it's still a great movie. It's a great Western comedy.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's a good Back to the Future film. And I don't think it's like a cash grab. I'm not cynical about it that way. I just think that it doesn't play with the same time elements as well as the others.
Yeah.
It doesn't have those same timeline kind of jokes, I guess, and exploration.
Yeah.
But it's nice to revisit these movies sometimes, though, because they're what James would say, real movies. Like, it's not like we're especially seeing them on the big screen, but like, we watched 2 on our nice big TV with our nice sound system. Alan watched 3 on his home theater system himself. And it's like nice to see that James would have gone to see Back to the Future 1 on the weekend at the Astor Cinema, I believe. So it's like, it's nice to see these films on the big screen because, like, they look so great. They were shot on film, real costumes, apart from, number 2, some real stuff, some not.
Yeah.
But it's like 3, real sets, real costumes, real fun.
What year did number 3 come out?
1990.
1990.
Yeah, so all these films came out before we were born. What, you guys maybe?
Yeah.
No, probably before we were born.
Yeah.
So around that, it's like, we would have never had an opportunity to see them on a big screen. But now, like, again, a home cinema is not a full-size cinema, but you're obviously sitting a lot closer. And actually, rather than usually what I do is put my headphones on and just have the experience that it is. I actually had the speakers going.
Yeah.
Nice.
So everyone's like, what were you watching? I was like, Back to the Future. They're like, it was making the floor rumble. I'm like, yeah. But it was nice to have that cinematic experience with the whole film. And thankfully, because, I've good friends here, I was able to get the 4K Blu-rays and, throw them in. So it was a nice, good quality picture as well.
Yeah.
And we had like a solid time. Like I said, it was a nice weekend movie experience.
Yeah. And as Callum said, they're real movies and they have a tangibleness to them.
Yeah.
Like, you got sets going, you got actual buildings and props, and it's not all CG. We'll move on, I think. If anyone else got any other comments about our Back to the Future weekend?
No, I think it's a franchise that I would have liked to see expand into other media more. We had the Telltale games, which are really great,
Yeah.
I need to replay them. I never finished it.
Never did it.
Did you know there was a Telltale game based on Back to the Future, Alan?
No.
I don't think it got finished though.
Yeah, it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I would love to have seen it in comics as well. I think like there are some properties which lend themselves so well to graphic novels.
Mm.
But then also that ruins that you might ruin the franchise if you expand it too much.
That's true.
And I never want them to do a reboot.
No, please don't do a reboot.
Keep Timothy Chalamet far away.
Do you reckon they'll do it though?
No, they every now and again there'll be rumblings of studio heads thinking about it, but now leave it alone.
Weirdly
Magic's gone.
Weirdly enough, I think if they were going to do a reboot, it should be like a TV show. I think there's
maybe
room,
if it's centered around Biff.
I think
the
there's
Adventures
room.
of Biff.
There's room to do it as a TV show.
We'll call it Buttheads.
There's room. I reckon. Yeah, there's room to do it if it has the same kind of vibe and the same feel and the same sense of humor. I reckon there's room to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't see it working well as a film. I reckon you should do it as a TV show.
The thing is, if they did reboot it in some way, would it be because these films were filmed in the late 80s to mid 80s, right? And so that's where their present time was. Will the present time now be like the 2025s or 2020s? And so the past is just like 1995.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, that's the kind of awkward thing they do in The Simpsons now too. When they go back, like in the future season, like the later seasons, seasons, they go back to the 90s, and it's instead of going back to like the 70s. So that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what's his name? Principal Skinner's always been like a Vietnam vet, right? That's a constant joke. Is he now like an Iraq? He's like now like an Afghanistan vet. I don't know. I need to rewatch some of those series. Do they talk about
There's
it?
a storm. Yeah.
Well, there was also the Armin Tanzarian aspect. Yeah.
But they completely ignore that.
They've mentioned it at least once. That I know of.
They mention it every now and again.
Yeah.
But it's something they, as a canon, they just like to ignore now.
Yeah.
Because it's just easier.
Because even when he was Armin Tanzarian, he still was in the military as a Vietnam veteran at the time. So technically, it's still fair game. But anyway, don't redo Back to the Future. If you just want to watch it as it is.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it on the big screen, I mean, it might be too late now because it's no longer at the App Store. But
keep an eye on your local independent cinemas website and their listings because you never know.
That's the thing. Like, if you can get friendly with your local independent cinemas, I'm sure that, especially if you have a group large enough, you can say, "Hey, can you do a screening of this film?"
Speaking of, do please support your local independent cinemas, such as the Brunswick Picture House.
It's not open yet. Don't go there.
Don't
go there now because
no. Yeah, but do support them. Memberships are already available.
Ask Callum how he knows.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a foundation member myself.
Well, we're going to go to a very quick break, and we'll be back with more right after these quick messages. You are back on the Tuesday Review live on 98.9 Northwest FM. We do have a giveaway tonight, everyone. Please text in the code word Shiny Mewtwo to 0447777989. That's 0447777989. No one's texted in yet, so the code is still up for grabs.
Yes, it is. So get in quick. Like I said, first in, best dressed.
And can you tell us more about that code, Nathan? What is it for again?
It's for Pokemon Go Wild Area, which is like a special event this weekend, the 15th to the 16th of November, in which case you can get all sorts of loot, basically, in Pokemon Go if that's your fancy.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll move along now. What have you been watching, Callum? Anything lately?
My Hero Academia, which is great. I'm loving it. Actually, just give me 1 second.
No, that's right. You can compose your thoughts and move on to Alan. What have you been watching, Alan?
So
Anything?
I try to start watching Slow Horses, but I think
season 5,
I think. But my brother-in-law's been on my profile or something, and he's
messed it.
Yeah, so I started the first episode where the IT dude, I forgot his name,
Roddy
nearly gets run over.
Yep.
And he's acting like an absolute turd. His best friend.
I mean, he's God's gift to women, mate.
Yeah.
Don't you forget
so
that.
He's serving peak incel energy, and then I kind of got tired and went to bed.
I think, and that's a problem I have. Going back to what you were saying before with your brother-in-law. Problem I have with Apple TV too is they don't like user profiles on their Apple Plus app.
Yeah.
And that's ruined for me too because obviously, at least my parents share my profile with the Apple TV because we use the one downstairs and I'm also logged in on their one. So it's everyone uses my account. and it's kind of just like they're always like the next suggested episode is always just like what they're up to, not me, and I have to go back and anyway. That's first world problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, kind of trying to figure that out, but I'll get to it. The other show I think I mentioned watching was the Chinese original television series about three-body problem. So there's obviously the Netflix adaptation of the books.
There's the OG show.
Yeah, and I've stopped watching it because I think I was about I'm going to say over a third, but less than a half of the way through.
I think we've talked about this on the show. I struggled trying to read the book.
Yeah.
Because from a Western perspective, it's not an easy read.
No.
And I don't know how easy of a read it is in the Chinese language, but it can be tough.
Like, following characters is...
Especially when you don't have, like, a glossary of characters or something like that to assist you.
Yeah.
With, like, a footnote system. It can be difficult because a lot of the times the names are only different by, like, one letter or something.
Yeah,
and you kind of just like...
The thing that
I'm not a racist. It's hard, okay?
Yeah. At the same time, when you haven't been around names that are predominantly Chinese...
Yeah.
Distinguishing between those is very, very difficult. Like, for example, any person that's obviously hasn't been around English names. Like, we may see Callum and Nathan being very different names.
Yeah.
But if you haven't been around these names, I could see somebody messing them up.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's not that unexpected.
Yeah.
What about Alum and Callum?
That one's more understandable. But one of the characters, I'm pretty sure, has a nickname that's very, very similar to another character's regular name. And they specifically give them that nickname.
Have you ever read Russian literature?
No.
Same problem.
Yeah.
except that every character has like two different names. You got like the regular name and the patronymic name, and they use them interchangeably, and they're all similar and long.
And when you're trying to kind of understand a different like bit of literature, there's a translation that's taking place. It can be a little difficult, especially in a book front.
So I think watching the Three-Body Problems of show is something I will get around to, and I'll probably enjoy it more than trying to read it. Because I read the whole first book, and I kind of managed, but like you're reading events, and you're not necessarily understanding what character's doing what, or you know that there are characters. This guy's a soldier. This guy's you understand the setting and the events that are happening, but the kind of the comprehension isn't always there.
No,
for any given scene,
which kind of makes things a bit difficult. But with the show, the Netflix adaptation, they move everyone into the UK. A lot of the cast is ex-Game of Thrones cast.
It's made by the same guys.
It's the showrunners are D&D, or Dan and Dave, who, once again, ruined Game of Thrones. Or some would say, did their best with what they had with Game of Thrones.
Half of that's on the old man.
Yeah, on the old man. Damn you, George R.R. Martin. Write the damn book. Anyway, with the Chinese three-body, I think the show's just called Three-Body, television series. I was watching it on, what's it called, Rakuten or something? And the app. Yeah. And most of the ads on that app are, hey, you subscribe to Premium, you won't have to look at this ad. And I'm like, no, I refuse. Or there's like 6 of the same ad back to back, which kind of does grind your gears a bit.
Yeah. They do that to get you to pay for Premium.
Yeah. Like, it was what it was. And I thought about it. But the problem was, the entire show, what I later on realized why I stopped watching, completely only, I wouldn't even say gets past the first book, or doesn't like even finishes the first book. I think it stops prior to the end of the first book. It mainly deals with one of the characters who is a nano research tech, and kind of his issues with the invaders, we'll call them. And that's as far as it kind of delves. It extends out his story dramatically. So compared to what you see here or experience in the books, his story is fleshed out a lot more, I think. But it's purely on him and kind of his interaction with one of these groups that are allied with the invaders, that sort of thing. But you don't see any of the... you see a few of the other characters that are kind of related, but not very many of them. And I would have understood that because I think the series was like 30 episodes or something like that, or maybe more. I thought it was going to go all the way because this
Should be able to do it in 30
Yeah,
hours.
the Netflix series, I think it was about 8 episodes for the first season, and that basically finishes the first book off. So I would have thought this is what they would have done, and I was waiting for like the futuristic stuff to start, let's just say. And nothing started. And once I was like 14 episodes in or something like that, I had a look, I'm like, when's it going to kind of get into the next bit of the story? Turns out it's not. It's just going to end basically at towards the end of the first book, and that's it. That's the entire series.
Really?
Yeah. So what I was expecting is not what I was getting, and I was like, all right, I've sunken this much time in. I don't know if I'm going to get the return I was looking for. Because I don't know what kind of budget they had in terms of
No, so
special effects and whatnot.
to be clear, is it a finished show or was it cancelled?
I think it's a finished show.
So why would they make that decision?
Don't know. Maybe they wanted to sell the book more, kind of promote that.
That's so strange.
Yeah. Unless I watched the wrong one, because there might be multiple.
Maybe it's one of those weird. So it's one of those weird decisions where sometimes shows will have like. It'll be a completely separate show for season 2. It won't be season 1, season 2. It'll be like anime does it. They'll finish an arc and then they'll start a whole new show, and that's like the new arc. So maybe it's something like that. Maybe there's a whole second show that's the season 2. I don't know. As for me, I've got something interesting.
Do you want me to?
Oh yes, continue, Callum. Sorry, we left you. To
just two movies to quickly talk about. First Reformed by Paul Schrader, the 2017 drama about Ethan Hawke playing a priest who has his worldview shaken after a conversation with a troubled man about the environment. A beautifully shot film, shot in a really restrained style. Just a really solid screenplay. Beautiful movie. If you can watch it, I highly recommend it. And I watched, for the first time, the 1982 film The King of Comedy by Scorsese, which, has obviously influenced The Joker a lot by Todd Phillips. And that is also a really interesting movie with a lot of empathy towards the mentally ill and the deranged. But it has a strangely positive ending, which I wasn't expecting. Just interesting dramas, interesting things to say, interesting messages behind the films. And no one does it like Scorsese.
Yeah. What was your other?
That
was it? Okay. I have an interesting one to talk about. It's a movie that escaped my radar called Self-Reliance, and it was produced by the... what are they called? The boys, Andy Samberg, Akiva Schaffer, the Lonely Island guys. It's a Lonely Island movie called Self-Reliance. It's Jake Johnson's directorial debut. You would know him from all the kind of mid to late 10s comedy films, like Tag, Let's Be Cops.
Yeah.
He's one of those kinds of actors, and you would know him quite well from some of those kinds of things. He was in Neighbours, all those kinds of comedies. You would know him if you saw him. He's a funny man, and he released this movie. It also, in a way, co-stars Andy Samberg, but I won't give too much away. He applies for he's bored in his life, and he applies for a dark web game show.
Okay.
Yeah, and in this dark web game show, we got a text message that says Mewtwo. We'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll
take it. We need more information, but we'll take it for now. We'll get back to our listener.
We'll call you after the show.
We'll call you after the show.
Thank you for that.
Unless we get another text message with the actual code word, which is shiny Mewtwo. We'd have a boomer sending text messages. Anyway. Anyway. Going back to my thought, Callum. So essentially... Our boy Tommy, played by Jake Johnson, who also directed the film, signs up to a dark web game show in which, if he can survive 30 days with hitmen trying to kill him, he wins $1 million. And the only way the hitmen can't get to him is if he's within touching distance of another person. So essentially, it's a comedy that is set up by the fact that he has to be essentially connected to someone else at all times to be safe. And that's the central conceit of the film. And so he partners up with various kind of, I guess, characters through the movie. A homeless man, and another lady who claims she's also playing the same game, right? And it's kind of just like the comedy moments that happen when you don't have personal space and all those kinds of things. And but the movie plays on paranoia.
Yep.
So I liked it, but I don't think it goes far enough. The movie, there's almost an element, without spoiling it, there's almost an element of The Game to it with Michael Douglas that plays into that kind of, is it real, is it fake, paranoia element.
That's a crazy movie.
Yeah, and there's a little element of that I wish they pushed further. Like, who's in on it, who's not in on it, how big is the game, is it real, is it all in my head, those kinds of things, like those kinds of elements. And it's a comedy thriller movie, so you can expect it. It's comedy, you know, it's The Lonely Island, so you can expect all the ha-has and the comedy moments, but I think they really could have pushed the paranoid edge of this movie a lot further, and it would have made it a lot better. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Sounds good. What's it called again?
Self-Reliance.
Okay.
It's on Netflix at the moment. I really enjoyed it. I wish it went a bit further with the kind of edginess. But yeah, I guess the other movie of note that I've watched recently was Signs, M. Night's 2002 horror thriller. I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, and I forgot how much of a bottle movie it is.
Bottle movie?
It all takes place in the one location.
Oh, yeah. The house, yeah.
Yeah. And
mostly, yeah.
Pretty much, well, it's that and like a scene on a road.
Yeah.
And I kind of just forgot it was such a small scoped movie, and the budget for this movie back in 2002 was like $75 million.
It's a lot.
Why? That's kind of one thing that dumbfounds me about this movie. And apparently $25 million of that $75 million budget went to Mel Gibson. But, which is crazy.
Oh, goodness.
Which is crazy.
Mind you, 2002 Mel Gibson, super hot.
Yeah. Pre-meltdown Mel.
Yeah.
But like the movie doesn't feel like you. I feel like if an indie auteur like filmmaker could have made this movie for less than $10 million. It's literally just all in one location.
Yeah. Like if Jordan Peele made this film, he would have done it a lot cheaper. He could have gotten away with it. Anyone
like Kevin Smith could have made this movie for like a handshake.
What was M. Night's previous film? Was it Sixth Sense?
I don't know. Let me see.
Because it might be a situation where he had a screenplay and then the studio was like, here's how much money we're going to give you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so the thing is like, one of the famous things I say about Christopher Nolan is that the studio will tell him how much money he can have and he'll just deliver under budget.
It was Unbreakable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was coming off real big films.
Yeah, so maybe it was a situation where they just gave him a lot of money that he didn't necessarily need.
Yeah, I don't see where the money went in this movie. And it's a good movie, but taking the budget into account...
There's no big effects that require that much money. There's no big sets that require it.
Spoiler alert for Science, the aliens are guys in suits.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like there's CG or like or crafts they built.
Was some of that budget maybe marketing, like and stuff like that? Maybe
I guess I don't know. Did they actually do crop circles as marketing for this movie? I guess I don't know, but it's a good movie. But yeah, that budget, wow. If James is here tonight, he'd be like, actually, this costs this and this costs that. But as a layman sitting in the studio here, why does this movie take Mel Gibson's fee out of it? Still cost about $50 million. I don't understand.
Probably, maybe it was because like these things blow out when you think of like things like insurance, catering.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but the movie's a house.
Yeah, I know. But like, did they have to build the house? Was there like, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of stuff. Also, let's not forget classic Hollywood accounting.
Yeah. I guess so, but
how much money did M. Night personally pocket from that money? You know, like there's, not that I'm suggesting anything untoward, but we all know that there's like all kinds of loopholes that that accountants use and so on.
Yeah, onto the movie itself. I enjoyed rewatching it. I forgot how small in scope it was, but I enjoyed rewatching it. And again, as we were talking about before, it looks real nice, shot on film. Joaquin is young in this film. He acts really well in this movie. It's kind of, a lot of this world building is very subtle, and I like that also, but sometimes it can feel a bit shallow to me. Like, there's no real... Like, obviously, Mel Gibson's a former pastor and he's dealing with his grief for his wife's death and all this kind of stuff. But it doesn't... Like, they tease little bits, but it really just doesn't pay off that much, I feel. So, like, it's a great movie. It's not as good as everyone says it is. It's not the 5-star movie everyone says it is.
It's funny because it's one of those movies that people of our generation would have seen when we were younger, and there's a couple of scenes which are kind of scary, and we're like, oh, do you remember Signs?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's
Well,
like,
that scene when the alien walks past, so scary. It's
yeah,
not.
I'd
Like,
be
you watch it
interested
again
to see-
today, it's not.
I'd be interested to see the reviews of critics or people who saw it at the time who were a bit older when it was released.
James is going to listen to this. James is going to listen to this episode later, and he's gonna drive past our house tomorrow and just throw a bag of dog shit. At the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a flaming turd.
No, like it's good. I like
He's gonna be
Signs.
I hate you. Show's over. How dare you do this to science?
I like Signs. But I do agree, it's one of those movies where our memories of it are maybe better than
I think so, and that's not to say it isn't
the
a good
movie as is in reality.
It's not to say it's not a good movie. It is a good movie. I just don't think it's as good as I remembered it to be. And
Yeah,
I don't
because
think it's
it's that initial impression that's so strong.
I don't think it's as good as other people remember it being.
I feel the same way about lots of horror movies where it's like you watch them for the first time and you're like, oh my god, that was scary or awesome.
Yeah,
And then it's like you revisit them and you're like, yeah, I can see why I felt that way. But then being older, being maybe a little tougher. You know, like when was the last time you actually got scared in watching a horror movie?
yeah.
Very infrequently.
Like I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I love David and Margaret gave it 3 stars, and I'm like, that's probably closer to the truth.
Yeah.
That's brutal honesty.
Yeah.
It's a 3-star movie.
Yeah.
It gets 4 stars for like doing some really good things, but ultimately, it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me being very
No, that's
harsh.
fair.
Yeah.
Hopefully, then over the next couple of weeks, we'll get the Deathstalker reboot is available on VOD, I believe.
Excellent.
So hopefully, we'll be able to get our impressions on that out
Yeah.
for the audience.
I've got one more movie I'll talk about, I guess, before we wrap up. If you haven't got anything else, no.
No.
I also watched Now, this is a movie you would think would be like full of it's a stacked cast. You would think it would be an amazing film, but it's not. I'm talking about Seventh Son, starring Jeff Bridges, Julianne Moore, Ben Barnes, and Alicia Vikander, and Kit Harington.
Okay.
So I'm talking about this is a movie that's absolutely stacked.
Yeah.
And the movie's crap.
Why?
It's not bad. You know what? It's a fun time, but it's like
What's the problem with it?
it's just really real cheap. And the movie is stacked. Alan just rejoined us.
I just did some reconnaissance on our phone line.
Okay.
The very first text of Shiny Mewtwo was sent by Sharon. So congratulations to you, Sharon.
Apologies, mysterious text messenger.
You
There
were
seems-
third cab off the rank, unfortunately.
There
Oh,
seems to
never
be a
mind.
disconnect between our monitors in the studio and the master system for the
Master
phone line.
system for the text line.
Very good.
So we'll reach out to you, Sharon, with your prize. Congratulations. And thank you for everyone else who played. Appreciate
That's
you
it.
all.
Hopefully we'll have more giveaways in the future.
Yes.
I'm sure we will.
Although no one was interested when we had a massive cinema poster of J. Edgar with Leonardo DiCaprio, but that's fine.
Who wants a 75-foot poster?
75 foot or 70?
I don't know. Yeah,
It was.
I
Do
don't know.
you remember back in the old days when we were younger gentlemen?
20 feet
Hoyt's-
at least.
Hoyts used to have those.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those. Yeah. We got it for $5 from a closing down movie store.
That same movie store.
Yes,
the
that same
weird
one. Do
porno
you remember the
DVDs.
poster?
Yeah.
Nathan didn't want me to buy it, and you were like, just let him have it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the...
Apologies.
Yeah, so Alan, would you assume a movie with Jeff Bridges, Julianne Moore, Alicia Vikander, Kit Harington, Jimon Hounsou, Olivia Williams, all real big actors.
Yeah, I know some of those names.
You know some of those names. You would if you saw them, right?
Yeah.
They're all big actors.
Yeah.
The movie is called Seventh Son, and it was made in 2014, and it bombed. And it was a bit of fun, but the movie was cheap. It looked cheap. It kind of felt a bit cheap, but it's one of those movies where it's like fast food. It's dirty. You know it's not good for you, but it's a
you're
treat.
going to eat it anyway?
But you're gonna eat it anyway.
Yeah.
The script is crap, and the film looks so soft. It almost looks like a soap opera. But there's some fun. There's some decent action. But Jeff Bridges pissed me off in this movie because he was talking like he was trying to have an English accent with a mouthful of rocks. And he just looks weird and he sounds weird and I couldn't vibe it. And it was fun. So essentially, it's like, you know, the seventh son of a seventh son is like has the special powers to kind of like kill witches and magic enemies, kind of like a Witcher style presence, right? And the kind of the head of this order, Jeff Bridges, his first apprentice dies, and he has to find a new apprentice and defeat the witch, and that's kind of the story. It's like a D&D story. It's fun. It's really fun, but it's, you know, I guess all the money went to the stacked cast, and they didn't have much room for anything else.
I suppose a marketing tactic is to put lots of great names on a poster.
Oh yeah, and the actual idea for the movie itself is fun, but the script wasn't very good, and the effects weren't very good, and what you kind of left with is a bit of a mess. But it is a decent enough time on like a lazy, boring Sunday. That's all I've got for this week, boys. Have you got anything, Alan? Anything else you've seen?
No, nothing else for me.
Well, I guess we're almost out of time for tonight. Thanks for listening, everyone. You can catch the Tuesday Review on some of the social media garbage at Tuesday Review AU. That's Facebook, Twitter, Threads, and Instagram. And YouTube at Tuesday Review AU. However, with the YouTube, my computer has been having some issues. So I can't get the YouTubes out because I can't do any video editing. So for now, the best place to listen is on your podcast platform of choice. So Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever the kids call it, the
Spotify.
The RSS feeds, if you have the RSS feed.
Now we're going back into it. The olden days.
That's it. We're on Letterboxd. I'm Nathan B _90.
I'm Alan 20.
I'm Callum Tuesday.
And James is Channeldrifter. All one word. Give us 5 stars. Subscribe. Do all the things. Help us out. Shiny Mewtwo. We'll be back next week. Adios, cousins.